Okay. 6 months ago, Dave and I started this project, and what we've been doing all this time was the beginning of what you saw in part two of this documentary, where I used just drum loops and I experimented on the guitar, bass, a couple other things, and I brought that over to Dave, and I said, here are the songs, they're really simple. I just want you to play the drums. We're going to set up microphones. We're going to get a stereo recording, and I think I covered some of that in some of the earlier parts, like part two. And I took the drum loops out. I replayed the songs on guitar over there. We recorded everything. I brought it back to here, and 6 months later, I've finally got the songs done. I got about 9 or 10 tracks for the whole album. And there's just been this explosion of inspiration and all sorts of other stuff. I don't even know where it came from. So that's what I'm going to be covering in the next couple of parts of this documentary. How did I do it? What did I do?
So we're at Cubase again, and this is the second version of a song that's about 6 months old. This is one of the songs that I brought over to Dave, my drummer, and I asked him to get his drums in stereo, and I just brought over electric guitar and I did the rhythm guitar track while he added the drums. So I have everything isolated here. I have the kick drum, the snare drum, and the left channel and right channel of his drums. So these drums are in stereo, which is great. And my rhythm guitar track is up the top, but it's off the screen. So the biggest question here is, why did this take 6 months? It took 6 months because I knew what I wanted to do, but that's not enough. It took a whole bunch of, it looks here, if you look really close, you'll see 155. So it took me 155 takes to get this rhythm guitar track. I didn't know what I wanted. I knew how the rhythm guitar would go. I kind of knew how the bass would go, but I'm not a bass player. And I had a bass player, but there's just not enough devotion to the whole project, and that's the same with Dave too. I mean, I don't write meticulous songs, and it would be really, really difficult for me to come up with lots of time changes and crazy things on the guitar, and expecting Dave to be able to nail everything while I'm in the studio. My songs aren't written like that, but they still come out really complex because I add a lot of other VST instruments and strings and violins and things like that. So I'm using the principle less is more, and it's the same. It's effective in graphic design, and I think it's probably effective also in music. My real struggle was the lead guitar, and the first track, what I did was I just played whatever I wanted, and it was all over the map. It was just chaotic, it was crazy, it was going along with the rhythm guitar, it was following a bass line, it was following some melody that I may have wanted to have partway through, so it was very unstructured. I would listen to that for, let's say, a couple weeks and realize, okay, I like this riff here, and I think this riff should come in at the beginning, and maybe I should repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And I thought, well, okay, that's too repetitive. I can't have that. I experimented a whole lot, and I came up with some other riffs. I came up with something that would sound really good on the violin, and I had just a whole bunch of ideas, and I had to boil down these ideas, simplify them, and make them structured. And if you look really closely, you'll probably see there's a couple little breaks here. That's because I would play something, I would get it right, and then I'd keep on playing, and here I would screw up. I would come back here, play, and I'd be able to trim. I don't know if I can do this here. There we go. Like if I click here, I can drag this either way, and this is part of the track overlapping on the other one, and I'm able to, you can actually really blend this in nicely so that the scroll bar or the scroller thingy goes over top, and you won't even hear a glitch or anything like that. So this was a really meticulous track that eventually carried through pretty well. I had to practice this. I had to know exactly what I wanted, and that was a really difficult thing to do. That's also the case with the bass track. I'm not a bass player. There's going to be musicians out there who are probably going to want to crucify me for trying to play the bass. The tone, I tried to research and study and practice the tone that bass players prefer to have, and also blending in that tone with the EQ over the whole song to try to get everything to work properly. The bass frequency is supposed to sit at a certain part on the whole frequency range, so you're not supposed to have tone up here so much. It's supposed to be, it's got its home on the frequency band. So I took that into consideration with the bass. I tried to listen really carefully to what other bass players play in other songs. So why did I have to do that? Because the bass player I had could only devote so much time to this project, and he did his best, but what it really takes to make this work is to constantly obsess about little things throughout the song. And I'd get up maybe in the middle of the night and say, like, I gotta get this working. Can I work on this idea? Can I make this work? Or I don't like how the guitar comes in here and plays a stupid riff that I don't like. I'd have to go and fix that in the middle of the night just because I would obsess about it. And yeah, if I got a bass player who lives across the city, he probably can't come over today. He probably can't record something at home and email it to me. He'll just never get around to it because he's busy, and I don't blame him, right? So that's the nature of this. So anyway, I had to take this on myself, and I knew what I wanted with a bass riff, and actually the same he did. My bass player, he didn't care about that, and he would give me some ideas and say, maybe the bass should play something different than what the rhythm guitar is playing. Like it's supposed to be a little bit more individual, and he was right. So there's a lot of input that comes from a lot of different people, and over March, April, May, June, July, over the course of 5 months, this whole song evolved tremendously from just a simple, plain vanilla concept to adding everything. So okay, to give you an idea of what I have going on here, I kind of pulled back a little bit, and I'm showing you all of the different tracks I have in the song 6 months later. So I got rhythm guitar tracks over here, I got some bass, actually I got vocals, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that in a later part of the documentary. I have some lead guitar tracks here, and then I got more of the drums and things like that. And then over here I got some VST instruments and some actual violins and electric violins and cellos and things like that. That came later on. So I'm going to show you the transition from the beginning to what I have now. And this is how it sounded when I was with Dave probably about 5 months ago. And more recently, I added in I got a VST violin, some full strings, which is another VST instrument. It's a whole orchestra suite that I have, and the cellos. And I also blended that in with the real, authentic violins that I actually play into a microphone. So I'm blending in that with the VST instruments. I blended that whole section into the metal part of the song with the lead guitar. So yeah, again, that's why it took such a long time for me to coordinate the composition of the lead guitar track with the strings, and this is what it sounds like.
So it sounds like that. And